Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another Overwatch video. So if you played lots of CSGO, there are a couple of heroes that you can use in order to quickly transfer your skills over, and I'd say, let's get right into it. So the first one is Soldier. Soldier is probably for most players that played any kind of FPS before, the kind of go-to character. So what you have is of course, full automatic weapon, you get additional damage, as you can see, for headshots, so that's also nice. Same as within CSGO, I mean there's no like real spray pattern, but in the beginning like the first 4 shots are accurate and then the spread kicks in like that. So you can see that you kind of wanna burst and control your recoil and got good trigger discipline, same as in CSGO. That's why kind of Soldier is a go-to class. So additional things is, you got sprinting, you got the R2, which is a rocket, does 120 damage, and then you also got a heal field. In this radius, it can completely heal you up, so that's also nice. So if you wanna play Soldier, Soldier's actually the most forgiving, and if you're usually a normal rifle player, Soldier's probably the one that you will kind of play with the best, especially if you're good with like the spray control, because you need track aim for Soldier instead of like flick aim. So just staying onto the heads of the enemies will definitely help you with that, and then of course also being able to burst like that, so that you actually can get the full benefit out of your accuracy and not kind of get the spread going like this. Of course, if you're extremely up close, like the closer you get in, you can start out like that, or well, that guy was already dead, but like this right here, and you can be very effective with that. And of course, the ultimate is just hitting Q, and you got an aimbot. And where you're aiming, you can see the kind of the things. The one closest to your reticle, to your crosshair, is actually the one that will kind of be the first target of your aimbot. So that's kind of handy. Now let's talk about the next character that's also very helpful or, well, useful if you already got a couple of CSGO skills. So again, Soldier right here is your go-to hero for any FPS. Also if you're a rifler and you're good with tracking aim. Alrighty, so now let's talk about McCree. So I'd say McCree is probably, or should be probably, your go-to hero if you're coming straight from CS, because first of all, if you're a good deagle or pistol player, the mechanics of the flicking will be just exactly the same, going for headshots, really exactly the same. Also, since McCree has kind of low mobility compared to, for example, like Soldier can sprint around and he can also heal himself, use the rocket jump and stuff like that. McCree doesn't have like any of that. He has his combat roll like so, which will also reload your ammunition, but that's about it. Like, it covers from here to here. So you can use it to get back to cover, but most of the time you really want to stay close to cover with your team and then, again, just make use of that. And you can, for example, like I did right here, which is a stutter stepping technique, just fire right when you're kind of changing position again. You don't have to do it in Overwatch like so, you can just run and shoot and you're completely accurate still, as you can see. But you can still use your tactics and your mechanics from CS. That's why McCree is such a good kind of, well, player for any like CS veterans. And also, again, if you're using the flashbang like so, this will stun the enemy and then you can deal some damage and also line up an easy headshot. And again, your combat roll will actually reload your weapons again. This fellow right here stopped moving, so easy kill on him. 2 headshots, easy peasy. And his ultimate will lock onto enemies like so, and then just hitting the firing button will kind of shoot at them in a set order. So if you're moving behind cover while you're actually doing that, you're kind of screwed. So you want to actually be all out in the open with him. And that's kind of McCree. So if you're a die-hard pistol player or just good with flicking aim, McCree's definitely something that CS players are familiar with, just the way you're using your cover, going for headshots, again, flicking, all of that stuff. So that's McCree. Now, the next hero might be some sort of a surprise to you. Many people would say, well, it's obviously gonna be Widowmaker as the AWPer. But let's talk about Widow first, okay? So Widow is not like an AWPer. You kind of get the same scope and time, so now I'm at full damage. But you can see a body shot doesn't kill like a target, you need 2 body shots. So in that regard, it's really more like a scout. Of course you can use like the grappling hook, for example, to get like a better positioning on the enemy. But in general, the way you're using it, you're going for headshots like so. And again, for headshots like so. You see that it wasn't completely charged, so it didn't kill the bot. So it's really all about, again, positioning. And you also want to kind of charge up your shots. So you're more stationary. You're playing it like a scout, just from where you're aiming at. but you're kind of... Well, it's kind of harder because you're kind of slow and stationary with Widow. You always want to kind of have your grappling hook on cooldown. Again, ultimate is just a wall hack. On cooldown, so that you can more easily escape, since many people will be jumping on you. And you can see you always kind of like playing more like a real sniper. So you're stationary like an AWP, but you're aiming at like a scout kind of. So that's not why AWPers should kind of straight default to Widowmaker in my point of view. And of course you also got the Venom Mine, like so, which does 80 damage as soon as targets are running over it. It's kind of like a damage over time thing, you can see health is dropping there. Now let's talk about Ana. Ana is a high skill hero, and I think many of your CS skills actually work with Ana as well. Once again, your positioning, since Ana can't really use any triple jumps or wall climbs, she's kind of a sitting duck most of the time, which means you want to have good positioning, which is something that you should be learning in CS. Obviously, stay close to cover, expose yourself only to angles and to enemies that you really want to, and kind of stay with your team, same as in CS. So again, that skill or mentality kind of transfers over well with Ana. Now another thing is, with Ana, you're obviously also dealing damage, just like I'm doing right here. When you're just shooting the targets like so, you're actually having a projectile, as you can see, like that. And when you're scoping in, it's actually hit scan, same as with all like the other guys like Widow, Soldier, McCree. And also, headshot damage and body shot damage are the same for Ana, as you can see like that. So you really want to just have like the general broad AWP aiming to really kill the enemies. And you also can be able to quickscope, like so, with Ana. So once you're kind of scoped in, like that, you're already having your hit scan instead of your normal projectile. So this will also be another additional skill, and I think that's like why Ana might be appealing for so many CS players. Ana has a very high skill ceiling of everything that she can do. For example, she can also sleep dart. You got the healing nade. You gotta always decide, are you going to heal your own friendlies, like so? Or are you going to attack the enemies, like that? And of course, most of the time you should be healing your friendlies, since there are not too many supports in the game that actually can heal properly. So Ana's very good with that. Her ultimate, this guy now has 50% more damage and receives 50% less damage, essentially doubling his effective health, which is also kind of cool. And again, the nade does damage, or yeah, does damage and anti-heal the enemies, like so. So you can see they're purple now, which means they cannot receive any healing from their healers. And if you again just sleep them or use your own nade on the friendlies like so, they get a heal boost of 50% and just being healed by 100 as well. So that's also kind of nice. So this should not be an Ana guide. I'm just trying to show you guys how many things you can actually do with Ana, and why in many ways just the way you aim and the way of aim, like possible aiming situations or styles you have. You can do your normal hit scan aim, you can your projectile aim while in hip fire, and you can do your quick scope aim, which essentially is just again the hit scan, but you're kind of staying on the go, you're more mobile, and that's kind of something that you always want to try to do with Ana as well. And then you can also damage enemies, you can heal your own. Again, I think Ana is a hero that really would go well with many CS players. It takes quite a while to get used to all the mechanics, to know when to use them, but it's just game sense. Also another skill that you really want to develop. Now keep in mind, these are the heroes that I think are most easily to transfer to coming from CS. This doesn't mean that you should not be able to try out any of the other heroes. So for example, D.Va. She can fly around, she got a defense matrix which will completely eat all the damage. So for example, like right here, you can see it completely absorbed all the shots. She has continuous shooting, just like so. You can move while doing so and you never have to reload. And then again you can fly away, for example. So it's really kind of, you gotta look into something that you're comfortable with. For example, I'm also coming from CS, but even though I play quite a bit of Soldier, I'm actually a Tracer main. So Tracer can blink around like that, and she can travel back in time. She has 2 pulse pistols that you can use in order to kill targets like so. So it's really not something that you would be used to in CS. So you definitely want to try out all the heroes before you actually kind of settle on one, to really make sure that you kind of played a little bit with them to get to know them. And you really want to be able to play one hero of each category. A support player to heal, a tank to kind of soak in the damage and be the frontliner. For example, Ryan right here, he has a huge shield. So, for example, in CS, this would be a spot you'd be smoking off. Reinhardt can move in here and kind of let everyone pass because his shield can actually, you can see the number right here, 2000, absorb all the damage. So he's a really kind of utility strategy hero. So if you're more of a kind of in-game leader or strategist instead of like just the normal fragger, Reinhardt might something that you be like to play as well, since it's a lot more about like the mental game that you're trying to play. But yeah, keep in mind, you want to learn one hero of each category. These two are kind of the same. Those are DPS, those are tanks, and those are support players or healers. So yeah, I think it's pretty much for now. I hope you enjoyed this quick little kind of introduction video to Overwatch from for CS players. I hope this was kind of helpful. I know many people did ask me about which hero to Sauron and which is good for a CS player. And the answer is, you can, as I said, transfer skills easily or more easily to Soldier, to McCree, Widow, Anna, since they're all hit scan. But just in general, just try out what you like and roll with that, as long as you're able to play one hero out of each category. But yeah, I think it's pretty much for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and luckySkillFaker out.